that we fast from Fajr till Maghrib, and we don't eat during that time. But the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned a few things which are the spirit of Ramadan. So there are 5 things that are mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith which are considered as the spirit of Ramadan. And among them, the foremost is that the spirit of Ramadan is the recitation of the Quran. Allah says in the Quran, شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنِ. That it is this month of Ramadan that we have revealed the Quran. So the Quran has a special relationship with the month of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ said that there is no other act of worship that can bring you closer to Allah more than the recitation of the Quran. So this month is a month of recitation of the Quran. There are 3 things that the scholars have said about the third. There are 3 blessings of this blessed Quran. And the first thing about the Quran that the scholars have said is that it is a book which Allah has made easy to remember, easy to memorize. Allah Himself says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ. That surely we have made this Quran easy to remember. That is why you have millions and millions of people who have memorized the whole Quran. And you will not find a single man who's memorized a book other than the Quran, which is of this volume. Because Allah has made it easy to memorize. A few years ago, I was in New York, and we got an invitation that it is a gathering to commemorate a Hifz al-Quran. And it was done at a very big country club. Thousands of people were invited. And big dignitaries were also invited. And the Muazzin who gave the azan, he was one of the top Muazzins. The azan was as if you were in the haram. And the host, I asked him that such elaborate arrangements you have made, how many people have completed the hifz of the Quran? And he said there's not many, there's only one girl who's memorized the whole Quran. And I said, you made all of these arrangements just for this one girl. He said, you know what this girl has done? She has memorized the entire Quran in 2.5 months. Allah has made this Quran easy to memorize. So 3 things about the Quran. The first thing is that Allah has made it easy to memorize. And the second thing is that this Quran is such a blessed book that Allah says in the Quran about this, about the Quran, that Allah has protected this Quran from any sort of corruption. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الْقُرْآنَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Surely we have revealed this Quran and we are responsible for its protection. So the Quran that we see is the Quran that was revealed. It is exactly in the same form that it was when it was revealed on the blessed heart of the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in the University of Munich, some professors, they carried out that research. The Muslims say that their Quran is not corrupted. And the Christian scholars, they accept that their book has been corrupted over the years, and even the the Jewish scholars, they also accept that the book is not in its original form. Some former changes have been made. So they carried out a research. And what was the research? The research was to prove that there have been some changes in the Quran as well. So they gathered 40,000 different copies of the Quran. 40,000 different copies from each and every era of Islam. From each and every country of the world. So 40,000 different copies of the Quran from all of the years of Islam. And the job was to match each one of these 40,000 copies, and if you find that two of the copies, only if two out of these 40,000 are different from each other in a few words, then the thesis has been proven that the Quran has also been changed. So they hired at least a few dozen research assistants. And the project was 2 years long, and after 2 years, and after matching these 40,000 different copies of the Quran, they finally came to the conclusion that there is not even a corruption of a single word in the Norco. So 3 things about the Quran. The first thing, that it is a book which Allah has made easy to memorize. The second thing, that it is a book that Allah has protected. And the third thing, the very important thing, that it is the book which is the most read book in the history of mankind. Thousands of people, and the day begins, millions of people recite Quran in the morning. And when the day ends, again millions of people are reciting the Quran. It is the most read book in the history of mankind. And the scholars of this ummah, they have done enormous in terms of reading the Quran. So once Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah was traveling from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Mukarramah. In those days, the travel on the camel back was 16 days. And traveling on the camel back is not easy. It is very difficult. And I know this, it's my first hand experience. So a few years ago, I went to Makkah Mukarramah, and at the Jabal Rahmah, there are some camels there. And I thought maybe I should just sit on the camel here because the Prophet sat on the camel here at Jabal Rahmah. So I sat there and said, let me take you up there to the end of the mountain. So he took me there, but halfway through in the next 5 minutes, my back was paining so much. I said, please, just put me down. I cannot go all the way up. So it's a very difficult travel. So Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah travels for 16 days from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Medina al-Munawwarah, and in these 16 days of traveling on the back of the camel, he finished the Quran 16 times. Allah. So the scholars of this ummah have done enormously in terms of reading the Quran. So this month of Ramadan is the month of Quran. We should mentally prepare ourselves that we will be reciting this blessed book, inshallah, and may Allah help us attain the spirit of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya wal mursalin. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'an wa 'amalan mutaqabbalan wa lisanan dhakiran wa qalban khashi'an wa rizqan wasi'an wa shifaan min kulli da'. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.